What's up, dear viewers? Today I want to show you a interesting report about Bill Gates. So you all might know about Bill Gates. He's one of the founders of Microsoft and one of the richest men in the world. And he's one of the biggest owner of farmland in the United States. I think the biggest. So recently I went to this website called Dataroma. This is a cool website where it'll show you some of the top investors and their funds and their recent moves as filed by the SEC. So by law, they had to file their positions every quarter to the SEC, and this website gathers all that data for you and show you their movements. So I was just looking at Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation Trust. This is a trust that he set up with his wife, and the current value of this portfolio is $22 billion, as you can see here. So I was interested to see what he was doing for 2021, basically last quarter. So recently, something was pretty interesting was filed under Bill Gates. So let's take a look at what he sold last quarter. So if you go to the sales tab, you can see that in Q4 of 2020, which is last year, Bill Gates reduced a lot of positions. So if you look at all of his holdings right here, if you look at his number, these are huge reductions to some of his holdings in these companies. So first is CNI, Canadian Railway. He reduced, so this is not bad, only 0.86%, so we're just not going to talk about that. But what's interesting is that he sold 10% of his Berkshire Hathaway holdings. Now, he and Warren Buffett are good friends, and they both sort of run this fund, and they are big owners of Berkshire Hathaway. So he sold 5 million shares of Berkshire Hathaway, which is 10% of this trust's portfolio. So that's a huge amount of reduction. So that's like a couple of $1 billion. If you look at Berkshire Hathaway, now it's trading at 265, right? So it's huge. 5 million shares. That's a lot of money. So the other companies, so I don't know what this is, but Liberty Group. So both types of shares, he reduced about 25, 27%. Now let's come down to what's interesting. Apple. Bill Gates reduced his Apple position by 50% last quarter. Let me zoom in a little bit. 50%. So he sold 1 million shares of Apple in his holding. So as you can see from our daily following of Apple, the stock has been getting beaten down for the past, since January, I guess. For the past 2 months, the stock is getting destroyed. It was up 144, but I figure Bill Gates probably sold in December-ish, somewhere here. So ever since then, Apple's been going down and down and down. At some point, it was trading at 116. So he sold at the right time, I would guess, and 1 million shares. Let's look at Amazon. He also reduced his Amazon holdings by 50% as well. So that's another stock. So pretty much all tech stocks have similar movements since the beginning of the year. And seems like Bill Gates timed it pretty nicely. While 50% seems huge, but it's only 30,000 shares. But then again, a price of Amazon is $33.70. So 30,000 shares is quite a bit, actually. He also sold 50% of Google. So another tech stock, which is also pretty high priced. And what's interesting is that he sold 100% of his Alibaba holdings. So this is pretty interesting because last year, I think around last year, Alibaba was involved in this crazy drama with the Chinese government, and Jack Ma disappeared for a while. So this company seems to be in trouble for the whole time. So around November when this whole thing started. So this stock just never recovered. And the news just came out that they were fined $2 billion by the Chinese government. So it's quite smart of Gates to sell his holding. Maybe he saw the news and he sold all of his Alibaba shares. That's 552,000 shares. Boston Properties, real estate company, also he sold it for all of them for a million shares. And finally, he sold Uber. So all of his Uber shares are gone now. So if you look at Uber, and I admit Uber is valued at $100 billion right now. I think this is way overvalued, but the stock seems to be making a good recovery right now. But he sold, relatively small position, 26,000 shares, all of it, and gone. So what does that tell you? If you look at his history, there are some times that he sold like 100% shares of the company, but not often. So this is back in 2016. You only see him do this like in Q1 2019, in Q4 2019, and only like some companies. But this time, last quarter, he sold like almost a huge share of his tech company holdings. So that is very interesting data. Oh, I see. Like last time he did this was 2013, which is a long time ago. So he sold all of these positions. But anyway, so what do you think about this? I'm interested to hear your thoughts because a lot of these tech stocks are some of our favorite stocks to hold, right? Like forever. But it looks like Bill Gates is not a fan of holding them forever, and it seems like, yes, I think the market is kind of overvalued. We definitely are in a bubble right here because of the lockdown. Everybody's using their money, extra money, to buy stocks. So I think we are sort of in a bubble. So we have to try to trim our position if you have a lot of exposure. And I totally agree with that if you have too much exposure to tech stocks, which is what we are right now. So we're looking to sell as well, but we want to slowly do it instead of selling everything at once. But that is my thoughts, and that is our findings today. And I hope you guys check this out. I'll put the link to the description below, and you can read about all of that, his positions yourself. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time.